of these teams 1-1 in league play, both of them coming off victories midweek. And it'll be the Gators wearing blue here today with the opening possession of the game. What a great matchup. Thomas Houck and Nate Ament. Ament on the wing. There are all kinds of really terrific matchups 1 through 5 in this game.
Well, Ament is a super talented freshman that's been very productive, but he's got a tough matchup in Houck.
Ruben Shinyulu can't convert. The tap back by Alex Condon. Open on the wing. Thomas Houck. Short on the 3, and the rebound comes down to the Volunteers, led by Gillespie, the transfer from Maryland, coming off a brilliant game midweek against Texas.
Boogie Flan guarding Jacoby Gillespie, and there's Nate Ament. And we just talked about, Dan, how talented he is. At his size and versatility, he affects the game in so many different areas.
He will be a lottery pick. He's not the most physical guy, still growing into his body, still putting on weight, but averaging almost 15 points per game and better than 6 rebounds per game. Xavier Lee in the backcourt along with Boogie Flan. Can those two make shots is a big key for Florida today and going forward. Here's a look for Lee. Got it. And Xavier Lee has been shooting the ball much better over his last 6 games.
53% from the field, almost 40% from 3 over that 6-game period. And anytime he sees it go in, that's a helpful sign for his confidence.
The Toronto native and all-Ivy performer last year with Princeton. Amen. On the drive this time, the turnaround will go, and what a start for the freshman.
Well, Rick Barnes told us before the game he would be really surprised if Nate Ament didn't come to play in this one, and clearly he has.
You can see Ament is a Wooden Award mid-season top 25 candidate. There are 4 of them from this league, and 2 of them are in this game, Ament and Thomas Houck. Ruben Shinyulu has it blocked by Ament.
What a terrific job by Ament coming over from the weak side. That's his length and athleticism impacting the game.
Felix Okpara will try a 3. Doesn't take many. Now 4 for 9 on the season. Gillespie no, and the rebound at Shinyulu. These teams 1 and 2 in the nation per KenPom in offensive rebounding percentage. Tennessee gets 45% of their misses. The Gators 44% of theirs. And for context, average is about 30%. So that is a big advantage. Houck around and out.
Thomas Houck has made 27 threes on the year, shoots 34%, but this is not a good shooting Florida team from the perimeter. They only shoot 27% overall.
They are 351st out of 365 teams in three-point percentage. A battle for the ball, and it's out of bounds to the Gators.
And that's where Nate Ament has to get a little bit better. He shows the ball at times, and he showed it right there, putting it right in front of Houck to knock it away.
How about the career Rick Barnes has had? 847 victories, tied with John Calipari for the most among active coaches and the 9th most all-time in Division I.
One of the greatest coaches of all time and one of the best guys you're ever going to meet.
And an Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame nominee again this year for the 3rd time, and hopefully he gets in sooner rather than later.
We're going to take a look to see whether this was a flagrant one to get upgraded, because Xavier Lee grabbed Boswell by the ankle. That was a shoestring tackle, so I think they're going to upgrade this.
And it was Keith Kimball, one of the officials, who was right in the vicinity and who immediately signaled they are going to have a look at this.
Yeah, this was not a basketball play. After he went down, watch him, he just grabs him by the leg and pulls him down. Like, that's going to be upgraded. It was a textbook shoestring tackle, though. there was no first down awarded, but it will be upgraded.
And it was very easy for the official to spot, and Keith Kimball did so in live time. And as I'm with you, this is...
The foul has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul. Didn't take a play on the ball. 3 red, will shoot 2 shots, and it'll be Tennessee ball.
And Joe Lindsay, the lead official today, with the official announcement for the crowd and for everybody at home. And as you said, a very easy call to make.
But give Joe Lindsay credit. That was excellent microphone work by the officials.
So a flagrant 1 on Lee, 2 and the ball for Tennessee. Todd Golden won a national championship last year, the youngest head coach to win a national championship since Jim Valvano did it back in 1983. They were ranked 3rd in the nation preseason. Coming into this year, they are 10-5. In some circles, they have been viewed as disappointing, or how good are they going to be. You and I had a couple of games they easily could have won. They were up late at Duke. They were up late against UConn. Let those slip away. If they can shoot the ball from the outside, does this team still have a very high ceiling?
Very much so. I think Florida's right there. They're continuing to improve, but as you know, Dan, you don't replace a backcourt like Florida had last year and just snap your fingers and they're going to be as good. I mean, their front court's as good as anybody in the country. But last year's guard core, that quartet of guards, was maybe the best in SEC history, and that's saying something. That was an extraordinary group led by Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin, Will Richard, and Denzel Aberdeen coming off the bench, who's now at Kentucky.
And Richard and Clayton are playing in the NBA. Elijah Martin bouncing back and forth between the NBA and the G League. A foul on Boogie Fland, so both Lee and Fland each with an early foul for the Gators. Gillespie off the screen, misses the three. And every rebound is going to be hotly contested. Chinyelu brings this one down.
And every one he brings down is with 2 hands. I mean, he had Jalen Carey right on his back and did a great job coming down with that board.
Jalen Carey has just checked in off the bench for Tennessee. I'm not sure there could be 2 current players in college basketball in Chinyelu and Carey who could be more physical with one another. Each of them is an absolute brick wall out there.
Yeah, they're unbelievably strong. Carey's another 2-handed rebounder transferred in from Vanderbilt.
Condon fakes the pass, steps in, misses the jump hook, rips it away from a couple of Volunteers. Boogie Fland, you'll notice, got a haircut this week, maybe trying to change his shooting luck. He'll miss that, but Chinyelu will clean it up.
But Chinyelu is so hard to block out. And Bishop Boswell had the responsibility, but that's a mismatch around the bucket.
Carey the handoff to Boswell. Back to Jalen Carey. Takes the bump and finishes with the left.
Boy, that little open side handoff action, it's really hard to guard.
And Alex Condon running the floor. Takes the feed from Lee and lays it in.
You see Boogie Fland guarding Jacoby Gillespie. He's not really helping off much on a switch.
Land their best perimeter defender. Now Boswell, and an errant pass out of bounds to turn it over into the first media timeout. A great start for Nate Amen early in this game. The freshman knocking down to 3, and he's on action.
The SMU Duke game is Boozer versus Boopy Miller. He's having a great year.
He is. The Wake transfer.
Started out at Central Michigan.
Had an impressive win over North Carolina last week. Urban Klobjar into the game now for Florida. Freshman Amari Evans out of Pittsburgh, #1, has checked in for Tennessee. Shot clock running down. Fland gets it off. All kinds of contact between Evans and Condon as Evans did everything he needed to do to box Condon out.
It was a fabulous box out by Amari Evans. Just great toughness.
Now Carey. And he is fouled by Micah Hanlogden, and fouls do figure to be an issue today because of how big and physical both teams are in the front court.
One of the great things that Jalen Carey does is he's great at duck-ins and getting an angle. He kept Micah Hanlogden on his back and got 2 feet in the paint. He's strong, physical, he's got great length, and his hands are like vice grips.
Older brother Vernon spent his collegiate career at Duke, couple of years in the NBA.
His dad played in the NFL.
That's right.
Played at the University of Miami.
Eight years with the Dolphins for Vernon Sr. Knocks down 1 of 2. Not a very good free throw shooter, 48% on the season, but boy, you bring guys like Carey and J.P. Estrella off the bench in the front court, you've got some options if you're Rick Barnes.
Yeah, it's size on top of size. A little horn set right now for Florida. They've had a tough time running offense because of the ball pressure.
Out with a great cut, but left the little lefty push shot a little bit short.
You're just running into bodies. The gap presence by Tennessee is excellent.
And an offensive foul away from the ball on Jalen Carey.
Yeah, he just came down and used both arms to shove off Alex Condon to try to get that low post position. He knew it right away. Boom. That's why I said at the start of the game, this is going to be an adult swim. All the kids get out of the pool because this is adults only.
It's the way that Tennessee, year after year, even with the obvious change in personnel, they always seem to play this way. And for the second year in a row, Florida, they really have the identical front court to what they had last year when they won the national championship. And Todd Golden feels very good about what he's got up front.
Tennessee, their pregame meal is physical. Everything they do, there's physicality attached to it.
Without question, two of the top teams of the SEC, a league that is very, very good. Not what it was when it was historically good last year. Micah Handlogden, one of the best offensive rebounders in the nation, gets Klavjar an open look. And another tip out and another possession for the Gators.
Boy, if Florida can't get it, they will tip it back out where their guards can. But those were wide open looks that Florida's had.
Klavjar will bury it to tie the game.
Klavjar, the best three-point shooter on this team, shoots best off the catch, but can also shoot it off the dribble.
A junior from Slovenia, a much bigger role than he had last year when they won the national championship. Boswell to Okpara, and it's out of bounds, and Okpara might have been thinking Boswell was going to shoot that ball.
I think he did think he was going to shoot it, but Micah Handlogden was there anyway. Really nice job. You cannot go underneath on Klavjar. Any sort of screening action, you got to chase him over the top, make him curl it and go into two-point range.
Isaiah Brown, number 20 in blue, into the game for the Gators. He has worked into the role of the 8th man on this team. He has played a lot more the last 2 games. Great energy, SEC-level athlete. And really, Todd Golden wanted somebody to jump up and take that spot. They played a bunch of games where he only used 7.
He played really well against Texas. Good in transition, good cutter. You can throw a lob to him.
A lot of traffic. The shot will not go, but a nice job by Amen to elevate and draw the foul.
You know, Amen is 6'10", and he's really skilled, long-armed, and a 3-level scorer out there. But I think because he's so well regarded for his future as a lottery pick, people expected more, but he's had a really good year. He's averaging about 15 a game and leading this team in rebounding. He's done really well.
Tomorrow afternoon on ESPN, we have a women's college basketball tripleheader coming your way. It begins with North Carolina and Notre Dame at 1 Eastern, a ranked matchup between Texas and LSU at 3 Eastern, and then it wraps up with Duke and Stanford 5 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN.
Dan, one of the things Nate Amen does really well, he's got a knack for getting fouled. He gets to the free throw line a lot.
It is interesting because the narrative has been not as physical and aggressive as he needs to be. And again, he's getting stronger, growing into his body. But to your point, he averages about 6.5 free throws per game. That's a good number.
Well, in high school, he wasn't one of those guys that averaged 30 a game. He played on a championship team in high school and averaged about 18. But he touches the game in so many different areas. You know, he gets steals, blocks, good pass.
Boy, what a drive and pass by Fland, but Handlogden had it blocked at the rim.
You have to go up quickly to get away from these shot blockers, and Handlogden just hesitated for a second to go to the other side of the rim.
And a Florida foul. If it's Boogie Fland, it is number 2 on him, and it will be the second on Fland to take it.
Well, as it was last year, but last year the SEC, historic, best league I've ever seen.
Fabian Lee down with it for Florida. He now moves to more of a primary point guard spot with Boogie Fland on the bench with a couple of fouls. Plays more off the ball when he and Fland are in there together.
But still, the primary emphasis has to be defending Jacoby Gillespie on the other end.
Lee misses the 3. Chinyelu got a hand on it, and it's out of bounds to Florida, as they are really having their way on the offensive glass in the early going, but they'll have to play an extended period here without Boogie Fland.
Well, Florida's got that, even though that's a team rebound, that's the 6th offensive rebound for Florida.
Boy, Klavjar won't get a better look, but he missed it, and now ahead of the pack is Boswell. Klavjar got back, but could not stop the layup.
Great pass ahead by Jacoby Gillespie and a terrific job through contact by Boswell.
Tennessee 11-4 on the season, 1-1 in the league as Houck gets fouled. And Tennessee has had some really impressive wins already this year. They beat Houston. Another look at this layup.
Just passing the ball ahead. The ball moves in the air faster than it does when you're dribbling it up court. Jacoby Gillespie, terrific job and a nice finish through contact. A little surprised that a foul wasn't called there.
We mentioned Tennessee has beaten Houston. They beat Louisville by 21 earlier this season. They also have a loss at Syracuse. They lost at Arkansas by 11 last week. And I think both coaches would say they like their teams, but they think there is room to grow. They hope there is room to grow now that they are into conference play.
Yeah, nothing in the rule book says you can't get better in conference, and both these teams will. One thing Tennessee has to be mindful of, they let Thomas Houck get to his right hand on that last foul. They've got to force him to his left. He's a really strong right-hand driver.
Carey to Boswell. The swing to Gillespie. Jalen Carey will try a three and come up short. Just his fourth attempt of the season. He has yet to make one.
Boy, Thomas Houck was really fighting Felix Okpara down low. Houck is coming off one of the best all-around performances against the top 25 team in Georgia that I can remember. He had, what, 21 points, 12 rebounds. I mean, he was up there in assists, steals, blocks. It was ridiculous how good he was.
5 assists, 4 blocks, 3 steals, and Ruben Chinyelu with a chance for 3.
Just a middle ball screen with roll replace action. That means Chinyelu was the roller. Thomas Houck was coming up from the baseline. That's really difficult to guard in that middle third of the floor because it's hard for weak side help. Now watch the screen. Thomas Houck comes up. That gets Okpara away from the middle of the floor. And that means Nate Amen has to come in from the corner. So you can also play the short roll and kick it out to a three-point shooter. Really well run by Florida.
Chinyelu averaging a double-double on the season. 10.5 points per game, 10.3 rebounds per game.
And on average, 4 of those 10 rebounds are coming on the offensive end. Those are usually easy stickbacks.
And he is matched up with Carey right now. Again, you won't find 2 guys bigger and stronger than those 2.
Unless it's a sumo match.
Out of bounds, was it? No, we have a foul away from the ball called by Joe Lindsay. Xavier Lee just picked up his second.
Yeah, he put 2 hands on him. And it was a clear push, but just the 2 hands alone on the ball handler is an automatic call.
So Fland on the bench with 2. Lee remains in the game with 2. Okpara from the elbow. And Chinyelu another rebound and a nice look ahead to Lee.
Yeah, beautiful outlet by Chinyelu.
And Lee's pass,
which Lee thought he was going to do. So you're right. That's just a small miscommunication that cost him a shot attempt. And anytime Florida doesn't get a shot attempt, they don't get a chance to offensive rebounding.
These teams met 3 times last year. Tennessee was undefeated in early January when they came here, and the Gators beat them by 30. Then a little bit later on in the season in Knoxville, Tennessee won by 20, and then Florida beat the Vols in the SEC Tournament Championship game in March.
Boy, that was a really nice drive by Nate Amen with the left hand. And Chinyelu just came right underneath him. You just don't want to foul there. Make him make the tough shot over you. It's just a 2. That's a tough 2. Make him make it.
Amen off to a nice start today. He's 2 for 2 from the floor, 2 for 2 from the line, and the high score in the game thus far was 7.
Rick Barnes just gushed about how hard he works and what an outstanding teammate he is. But Nate Amen has a ton of ability, and I agree with you. He's just going to get better and better as he gets bigger and stronger. But as you know, Dan, not every freshman is the same when they come in. His value is great right now, but it's only going to increase going forward. And a guy like Cameron Boozer, he's physically mature right now. Nate Amen physically is not there yet, but he's going to get there.
9 for Amen. He will sit as Amari Evans, another freshman, Evans out of Pittsburgh, comes in to take his place, and he will draw the assignment of covering Thomas Houck.
Not surprising that Evans is from Pittsburgh with his mindset. He was like he was born a Pittsburgh Steeler with as tough as he is.
So Xavier Lee in the game with 2. We mentioned Fland is on the bench. Todd Golden, Jay, really needs one of those 2 guys on the floor at all times. So it looks like he is going to trust Lee to not pick up that 3rd.
He has to trust one of them.
Yep. Bobjar, good defense there by Gillespie. Lee slithers his way in and banks it home.
Boy, what a quick but kind of herky-jerky move to get it up off the glass without really even jumping. He got it off so quickly they couldn't block it.
He is shifty. Florida back on top by 1. Boswell, who played just 4 minutes per game a year ago, up into the 20s this year. He's a starter in the backcourt along with Gillespie. Knocked away under the rim.
Boy, that was a really nice job to ice that screening action by Urban Klavchar. Kept him to the left side of the floor. That was excellent.
In transition, Evans. And the foul is called on Houck, and Houck is pleading his case, saying that Evans was the guy who initiated all the contact.
Yeah, it probably was offense-initiated contact, but Houck gave it back a little bit. When you're not in legal guarding position that way, it's going to be a defensive foul. I mean, there's no question that was initiated by the offense, but I think it was smart to initiate it because Houck wasn't really in legal guarding position there, and he did it with his body, not with his arms. So I don't disagree with that call at all.
Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Tennessee not a very good free throw shooting team, although better lately than early. Around and out on the 3 attempt by Lee. And Boswell wins the battle with Houck and blocked at the rim by Condon.
Boy, he timed that out beautifully.
Gillespie with a high arcing 3 to put the Volunteers back on top.
Boy, the second shot opportunity, that's what's so important in this game. But for Jacoby Gillespie, he hasn't had many open looks. That was really his first one. Nova, and he went into the portal.
Thank you for that. I said North Florida. Northern Colorado is where Connect came from. As Lee misses a 3. Florida doing their thing in the offensive glass. They've got 6 offensive boards, but unfortunately for Todd Golden, they are not shooting the ball well again today. They are 2 for 14 from 3-point range. That's really been the positive and the negative story for them, the rebounding and the shooting all season long.
Well, most of Florida's shots have been forced from the perimeter rather than being able to get it inside into the post, high-low.
Deep one for Gillespie. Houck down with a rebound. What a battle that was. And a foul is called on Amari Evans.
That was a smart play by Houck. He just sort of allowed himself to get tripped up a little bit because Evans was on the ground, and that is an automatic call by the official. I'm not sure Evans did anything wrong, but what a big-time rebound in traffic. That could have been a foul right there, but...
And you could see Rick Barnes did not like the call, telling the official, my guy was just down on the floor. What did he do wrong? But it is number 2 on Evans. So he goes out. Took a shot as well, and that was before Houck stepped over him when he took that shot.
Yeah, you need to wear a mouth guard in this game. But how about Thomas Houck? I mean, he's in SEC play. I know it's only 2 games coming into this one, averaging 22 a game, but against major conference teams, against the Power 4, he's averaging 20 a game. He's been magnificent all year.
The junior is out of New Oxford, PA. 4 points per game as a freshman, 10 points per game as a sophomore, 17 and a half and climbing as a junior, and very possibly could be a lottery pick in the NBA draft.
I think he will be a lottery pick with that motor.
Yeah.
I mean, you never have to talk to him about playing hard. He plays hard all the time.
Ariel back it out to Gillespie with 10 on the shot clock.
Boogie Fland back in the game. He's got to be careful not to pick up a needless foul.
Xavier Lee to the bench. Spinning hook shot goes for Jalen Carey.
Boy, these duck-ins are so difficult to deal with. The carry from the high post and just spun right around.
And somebody missed an assignment, and Houck comes up with an easy slam.
Just no communication between Carey and J.P. Estrella in transition. They didn't know who they had, didn't communicate.
Carey dribbles it away to handlocked it.
Turnovers are piling up for Tennessee.
Tied at 21, about 14 minutes into this one here in Gainesville. Houck baseline, fouled by Ament.
Really good drive. That's the second on Amen, but you got to keep Houck from that right-hand drive. Shade him left. Beautiful pass in transition from Boogie Fland to Thomas Houck, who runs the floor as well as any big guy in the country.
And what a pleasant young man. We had a chance to visit with Houck a little bit at the end of their practice yesterday. I mean, ear-to-ear smile and you know, very engaging about whatever you want to talk about. And then at the end of the conversation says, so what are you guys doing for the rest of the day today?
Yeah, he said, I love noon games. You can play golf and watch football afterwards.
You see the players in the SEC who have improved their scoring the most in the league this year. How about Tyler Tanner at Vanderbilt? The difference between him last year and him this year, he is a star right now for the Commodores.
And he was spectacular against Alabama. That was as entertaining a game as you're going to see all year long.
Vandy, one of 6 remaining undefeated Division I teams in the nation. Amari Abram into the game, rather, the 6'3" senior out of Port Arthur, Texas, number 77 in orange. He's a transfer from Louisiana Tech. Boy, Florida does have some depth.
He's got a lot of depth. I'll tell you, the job that Florida's doing defensively, I mean, they're staying with Jacoby Gillespie, not really helping off, but they're doing a great job of jumping to the ball and moving as the ball moves.
A steal by Fland.
These turnovers are crushing Tennessee.
That's 7 turnovers. That's more than the number of made field goals they have. Fland almost gave it back and somehow came up with it.
Florida needs to get the ball inside. This is not a great perimeter shooting team.
Fland will get it inside with the dribble, but it has it blocked. It stays with the Gators, 4.8 on the shot clock.
Just opened up the side with some cuts. Jalen Carey was there. Jacoby Gillespie from behind. That's awfully difficult to be able to just get a standard layup off against this group. Terrific block from behind with the left hand by Gillespie.
Chinyelu returns, Handlockton sits. Carey and Estrella both out for Tennessee. Okpara and Dwayne Brown II, the freshman from Hoover, Alabama, into the game. Rick Barnes has 4 freshmen who get minutes for him. Houck open, hits it.
Boy, that is way too easy on out of bounds underneath. You want to send it to the short side of the floor, but nobody switched to pick up Thomas Houck. That was just way too easy.
And it's the largest lead of the game for either team, but not for long, thanks to Jacoby Gillespie.
Well, Boogie Fland just gave too much of a shake across that ball screen, got lost.
Condon into Houck. Got a size advantage on Abram, kicks it out to Fland. And is fouled on the drive.
Well, Thomas Houck, I mean, that was way too easy. I mean, he just melted into the screen by Chinyelu and gave him a wide open 3 where he could take his time. And Gillespie, you see, Fland just got lost on that little high ball screen set by Felix Okpara. He could just waltz into that 3-point shot. If he's got that kind of time on shots, he's going to put up 30 again.
That foul was on Gillespie, just his first. Condon misses the front end.
Condon is such a good passer. Gave a great pass fake to get to that right-hand drive. And Chinyelu was screening off the help on that play that got him fouled. Condon
is actually their assist leader on the season at 3.6 per game. Boy, Houck just ripped it away from Dwayne Brown II.
Adult Swim, baby. All the kids out of the pool.
Crossover Fland. And a nice job by Boswell, a very good defender, staying right in front of him.
Good fake.
But he was standing out of bounds. The heel must have been down out of bounds for Houck.
Oftentimes when a drive like that, you'll put your foot back instead of just going. But watch 2 hands ripping this ball away from Dwayne Brown. That is not easy. These guys have vice grip hands, and he just took it right away from the freshman.
I mean, Brown is 6'8", 250. He is strong.
I think he's called Dwayne Brown II because he's big as 2 Dwayne Browns.
Gillespie will back it off. Fland is on him. And again, Fland playing with 2. Abram. Good position down low for Brown. He converts.
Just a great duck in by Brown going against Thomas Houck. He's got a little bit more bulk than Houck does.
Isaiah Brown back in the game again, has worked his way more into the rotation in the last few games. Pretty tight rotation for Todd Golden. Step back 3, Boogie Fland.
Boy, Boogie Fland needed that. He was 0 of 11 from 3 in his last 3 games. He did have 18 assists over that 3-game period, but he's not shot the ball as well as he's capable.
He is just 19% from 3 on the season. And another Tennessee turnover.
Just open. Yeah, I agree, Seth. The 9 turnovers has been a huge factor in this game. And it's not just points off turnovers that are the issue when you turn it over, but you turn the ball over, you don't give yourself a chance for an offensive rebound, and you don't give yourself a chance to get fouled. You don't get a shot. I mean, those 3 things are pretty good things for your offense.
So Florida with more offensive rebounds, Tennessee with more turnovers. So Florida with a lot more field goal attempts than Tennessee, but they're only shooting 33%. That number will go up a bit on a nice strong turnaround by Chinyelu.
Boy, give Chinyelu credit in that high-low. He showed great poise in the post. He let Gillespie go by with the double team and then went up. That was really good by Ruben Chinyelu.
Lee and Fland both in the game now for Florida, each of them playing with 2 fouls. Carey in the post, defended by Chinyelu, could not finish it. Chinyelu having a very nice first half at both ends.
Chinyelu doing a great job of forcing that finish without a foul. Great duck in the middle.
Can't finish this one. Still, though, he has 7.6 rebounds already in this game. Boy, Gillespie, how good is that? And he will earn a trip to the line.
Jalen Carey made that possible. He screened off Chinyelu, and Chinyelu, when he jumped up, he basically got undercut by the presence of Carey, but that a lot of people say Gortat or whatever from Marcin Gortat, but he just screens off the help and opens up a lane for Gillespie to finish that, try to get to that finish, and then Chinyelu wound up fouling.
Kind of wound up in the air, caught on Carey's hip in midair. That'll be the second on Chinyelu. Each team has a couple of players with 2 fouls. Nobody's picked up a third, but Todd Golden has a couple of bigs ready to check in.
Dan, I know they're NBA scouts here, but I think there should be some NFL scouts here. That's how big and strong these front court players are.
I mean, you could easily envision a guy like Chinyelu or Jalen Carey maybe having to go at tight end if professional basketball doesn't work out.
Tight end, defensive end.
Gillespie gets Tennessee back within 3. He's got 8.
Great steal by Gillespie. Gave it away, but that was a big-time steal.
2 minutes to go in the half. Condon was looking for Houck backdoor. Now finds Lee. Fland gets a clean look and hits. Boogie Fland with his second 3 of the afternoon.
Really good drive by Xavier Lee off that relocation pass. He got 2 to guard it.
And what defense now by Fland. Takes it away from Gillespie. Up and in.
Boy, give Florida credit, but these turnovers are killing Tennessee.
Eleven turnovers now committed by Barry from behind.
Boy, Condon in front, and then Houck coming in. Thomas Houck, and give great credit to Alex Condon. He did a great job there. But Thomas Houck is relentless, absolutely relentless.
And now Rick Barnes is furious. He just had to call a timeout, and now Bishop Boswell couldn't get the ball in, so they use another timeout. And that is the discussion point in the huddle right now. We're back in 30. .2,400 points. Klavjar for 3, and it's a 13-2 run for the Gators.
Boogie Fland again with a brilliant steal off the long pass.
They need a bucket, and they're not going to get it.
Boy,
it is bedlam right now at the O-Dome.
The turnovers that Florida has forced, some have been unforced. That is killing Tennessee in this first half.
Fland, what a job to finish that. And it's all Gators.
Boogie Fland was just stronger and more determined. He had 3 balls around him, but was able to clear that space and wind up finishing the play. He's been fantastic.
He's got 10 points, Jay, and 4 assists already in this game. And there are no answers right now for Tennessee at the offensive end.
Boy, a lot of contact, but the official saying that Handlockton went straight up.
Shot clock turned off. 10 seconds to go in the half. Now 5. It'll be Fland with a deep one. And that will bring the first.
Two-handed rebounds. Florida taking the ball away from Tennessee on a number of different occasions and just doing a great job with their physical presence. And Boogie Fland, the last 6-7 minutes of the first half was just magnificent. On that three-point shot, he wound up with 10 points. He had 4 steals, 12 turnovers for Tennessee in that first half, and Florida really converting toward the end of the first half. The difference in points off turnovers, 18 points for Florida, only 6 for Tennessee. That's been the difference in this game.
This game was tied at 26. It is 41-28 Florida as Tennessee gets the first try here in the second half. Jacoby Gillespie was good for Tennessee. Nate Ament was good for Tennessee, but they need some help. Ament trying to drive on Condon, takes a bump and bangs it home.
Boy, Nate Ament showing the talent and showing a little bit more physicality, going right into the chest of Condon, knocking him back and then pivoting through for that shot. That was a big time play by Nate Ament.
He's now into double figures with 11. Fland, Condon, and back out to Lee. Both Fland and Lee played a number of minutes with 2 fouls in the first half, but both of them stayed away from that third. Lee's open. Got it.
Boy, that's great inside-outside interaction. The high-low, that drew Nate Ament down low. He came off of Lee off the switch and couldn't get back out to recover.
You really got to make a decision, right? Do you double the bigs and give the guards an open 3, and Fland and Lee each with a couple of threes in this game for the Gators?
Well, you can do both. You can dig down, but you still have to be able to recover. You don't want to commit one way or the other.
Lee around and out on the step back 3. And now picks up Boswell. Fland covering Gillespie, trying to face guard him, keep the ball out of his hands. Felix Akpara lost it. Bothered by Chinyelu. Lee hands it off. Fland will go to the line.
Boy, just that extra hesitation by Boogie Fland allowed Akpara to leave his feet, go right over his back. And Boogie Fland is playing with a lot of emotion. This is the best he's played in several games. Another turnover leading to a break, but just that hesitation that got Akpara to try to block the shot led to the foul.
Is it the haircut that has taken his game to another level?
You know, Otega Owe had a similar haircut last year, and he went shorter this year. And Boogie Fland, I guess his haircut was Wednesday. I usually don't track those things, but his haircut was Wednesday, and it looks like at least his vision is probably better.
Makes them both. He's got a dozen.
I'm jealous of anyone who gets a haircut.
Yeah, you and me both. 16-point lead for Florida.
Boy, Jacoby Gillespie, you get past a ball screen and you're looking right into the chest of Alex Condon.
Ament thought about the 3. How close is out on him. Now Brown one-on-one with Condon. Chinyelu over to help.
Boy, you got to go up right away. You're just letting the defender recover. What a great play by Thomas Houck. That's got to be back at that court. Yeah.
And Joe Lindsay will make the call. Took a second to assess the situation and then says, yep, over and back.
Good job by Brown of getting to the rim, but he's got to go straight up. As soon as he pivoted, that allowed Chinyelu to come in and become a factor in addition to Condon. That's a lot of length and size you have to go through in order to get that score. Going up quickly, at least it's one-on-one against a big-time defender.
Boswell around the screen. Spins into the paint, cannot get the shot off.
Boy, what a great switch and steal.
Hauk will tip it away and draw the foul on Amen at the other end.
Boy, really nice job by Chinyelu and Xavier Lee to almost peel switch down low to get their matchups right. And Thomas Hauk just gets into the passing lane. He is relentless. And you don't say that about every player, but relentless is really hard to beat. Timed that out beautifully with the left hand to knock it toward his basket and then gets fouled.
And this is a guy who on the team last year, because they had those 3 outstanding perimeter players, Hauk was the 6th man, and he also played the 4. This year he's a starter, and about 75% of the time he's been playing at the 3 spot instead of the 4. How do you think he's handled the transition?
I think he's been great. He's improved his 3-point shooting. And he's such a strong right-hand driver. And the scouting report says, hey, send him to his left, but he still winds up. They have a lot of things set up to get him to his right, but he still winds up getting there, even though you're sending him to his left.
He is 8 for 8 from the line today on his way to a game-high 13 points. Lee's got Brown on him. Got some mismatches here as Tennessee tries to get lined up. Now Akpara switches on to Lee.
And Chinyelu, when he rolls to the basket, he rolled Brown and just locked him down and wound up picking up a foul. And it's $20 in a cab to get around Ruben Chinyelu when he decides to get wide and he's going to seal you off.
Jalen Carey is going to sub into the game now for Tennessee. That foul was on Dwayne Brown the second. He'll sit.
And Jalen Carey just provides a little bit more experience.
They are without another front court player, Cade Phillips, who unfortunately had season-ending shoulder surgery, an injury he played through most of last season and was unable to get through the season this year. Hopefully he will be okay, get a medical red shirt, get the year back, play again next year. He's a good player, but so they're 1 man down in the front court for Tennessee.
Yeah, Cade Phillips gave good rim protection, good length, really tough, and a lob threat, and another offensive rebounder, as if Tennessee needed another one. They got a ton of them.
Again, they are 1-2 in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage per KenPom. Tennessee 1, Florida 2, and Nate Aman knocks down a 3. He's got 14 now.
That was a beautiful read off a little sloppy set down low, and Thomas Hauk went over the top of that screen to try to meet him on the other side.
That ball chipped into the backcourt. Fland gets a hold of it. 19-footer is good. He is having himself an afternoon.
It's amazing how your confidence just shoots up when you make your first shot. And you let Boogie Fland get started. Now he's seeing a big bucket, and he is in attack mode on both ends of the floor.
Amen. The drive on Hauk. Akpara up and in.
Boy, heck of a pass by Nate Aman. Cut off on the baseline. A beautiful bounce pass to Akpara.
First points of the game for Felix Akpara, but Tennessee still down by 15. Hauk open. Amen got a hand on it, but now he's in a battle with Chinyelu. And it'll be a held ball, and the possession arrow is going to give it to Florida. Boogie Fland had a great first half, and Jay, he is off to a nice start here in the second half for the Gators as well.
Well, Boogie Fland has 4 assists, 4 steals in this game, but 14 big points as well. Beautiful mid-range, seeing a big basket. Maybe as a result of that. I'm not superstitious, but why risk it?
Yeah. Woo. Wow. It's not often you can hear a blocked shot from about 60 feet away, which is where we are. But that was impressive, as is the afternoon for Boogie Fland.
It was a volleyball spike.
Wow. Lavjar into the backcourt for Fland.
That should have been picked off by Gillespie.
Handlogden wants the ball inside. Got a smaller defender on him in Evans. Instead, it'll be Boogie again.
How good is he off broken plays? He is just a playmaker.
This is why, if you're Todd Golden or a fan of the Gators, you can dream a little bit. If Fland and Lee can get to the level they have been at in previous years at their previous schools, this team can dream pretty big.
Yeah, I think that's the difference, is the guards, as they shoot the ball better from the perimeter, that's when Florida's going to really start to take off. And, you know, they've only lost to good teams this year in their 5 losses. A combined 17 points have separated Florida from their opponents.
And again, had Duke late, were up 1 in the closing seconds at Duke, but lost. Overcame a double-digit deficit against UConn on a neutral court to take the lead, but lost late. And another Tennessee turnover, one of the big stories in this game.
Jalen Carey wasn't even looking for that pass. That was just a little pocket pass.
Klavjar buries a 3. And Florida is absolutely rolling.
Akpara had to switch out on Klavjar, just gave him way too much space. And anytime Klavjar can shoot it from the catch spot, he's going to make it.
He is their best three-point shooter. He is 3 for 5 from the arc today. Ament wins the battle with Condon.
They say he can't play physical. He's handled the physical battle, and Tennessee trying to run more action toward Nate Ament in this second half.
Misses the 3, tipped out, saved, and kept in the front court by Gillespie. Now Carey going to work down low, will head to the free throw line.
Right, that's a shot that Jalen Carey's got to finish. Now he's left-handed, had to go to that right hand and just missed it with the contact. But he does such a good job getting low and got right around Condon. He's got to finish that play.
Started at James Madison, then Vandy, now Tennessee. At a 22-point game up in Syracuse on December the 10th, and it has also had double-doubles this year against Kansas and Louisville. This is a guy coming off the bench for the Volunteers.
Got a really good jump hook. He's just so good at carving out space, and he's really a good finisher, irrespective of that last miss, which I think he would love to have back.
1 of 2. And it's Florida ball. Isaiah Brown into the game for the Gators, so Houck slides up to the 4. Hanlogden is the 5. Klavjar has it knocked away, and it's Tennessee ball.
I'd rather get a 5-second count than let that happen.
They cannot convert, though, in transition. It is a battle for the loose ball, and it's going Florida's way.
I think Nate Ament's foot was out of bounds while he was touching the ball, so that means if any part of you is out of bounds while you're touching the ball, that's Florida's ball. So watch his foot go out of bounds here, and then he gets a, well, maybe it was just the ball. I thought it was because of him, but it might have just been the ball that went out of bounds.
Either way, Gators ball with a 19-point lead in a game that was tied with about 4 or 5 minutes to go in the first half. Couple of ball screens by Houck. Fland again. It is his game right now.
Just a little screen, rescreen action, and not a good job by Akpara to get out there and hedge, and Boogie Fland was able to just waltz into that shot.
And where do you turn for answers if you're Rick Barnes? It's going poorly at both ends of the floor right now.
Just a simple little ball screen, just not well executed with their ball screen coverage by Tennessee.
Jay Fland has tied a season high with 18. Fland for 3. Oh boy.
Boy, how happy is Todd Golden to see the lid come off for Boogie Fland. He's not shot the ball well this season, and he looks like an All-American in this game.
He is 7 for 11 from the floor, 8 for 12 make it from the floor, has 21 points in this game already.
Anytime that Akpara has had to switch out onto Boogie Fland, he's just given him too much space with that late contest.
And the chant here is "Let's go Boogie." They are feeling it. The Rowdy Reptiles are loving what they're seeing from Boogie Fland as well. Lots more coming your way on ESPN today. 5 more men's college basketball games It begins with a couple of ranked teams. SMU's at Cameron to take on Duke, #1 team in the nation. Arizona and TCU. Then for you folks in SEC country, Arkansas, Auburn, Texas, Alabama at 8 Eastern. And it finishes with A.J. Devonta to BYU taking on Utah. What a day.
Right, how good is Arizona? I mean, Koa Pete, their outstanding freshman, is getting a lot of press, and as well he should. But Braden Burries is the real deal too. Those are two outstanding freshmen. They've got, Arizona's got size, they've got good guard play, and I think their defense is the best it's been under Tommy Lloyd.
A turnover, and it'll be a lay-in for Gillespie. The freshman class this year is ridiculous. How good they are and how many of them there are playing such prominent roles on so many prominent teams.
Florida getting the ball up court really quickly after that bucket. Micah Handlockton did a great job of screening off help, so a shot blocker couldn't get to Klapjar when he was getting to the basket. But Tennessee, even after scoring off a turnover, they give up essentially an easy one by fouling and letting Klapjar just race it up the floor.
Didn't have as much of an opportunity to play last year, obviously behind those incredible perimeter players who led the Gators to the national championship. His minutes per game have doubled this year. His scoring has almost tripled from a season ago.
Yeah, Klapjar is the best three-point shooter on this team. He shoots about 36-37%. Was good against Georgia. He had 11 in that one. Had 20 against TCU.
And the lead has ballooned to 22 now for the Gators.
Tennessee cannot find openings to get the ball inside. This is size and how active Florida is defensively. This is locked in as Florida's been defensively on the season. They've been outstanding.
Klapjar making life difficult on Gillespie. Lee making life difficult on Evans. And it's another turnover.
Really good defense by Thomas Houck. A switch.
Estrella on Lee, but he'll give it off to Houck. Brown to Handlockton. Everybody gets a touch. Who will get the shot? Klapjar, difficult shot. Tipped up but no good, and Estrella down with a rebound for the Vols.
Where does Tennessee go to generate offense? They're looking high-low, but you're looking among trees.
Gillespie, their point guard, is easily their leading scorer at almost 19 a game. Carey going to work on Handlockton and draws another foul. 11-11. Amen. He's got 4 still in the game right now. Lee will draw a foul and go to the free throw line.
Like Tennessee just not getting back with the kind of urgency they need, and that's what led to that foul by Nate Amen. Rick Barnes shaking his head. I think he expected a little more fight out of his team.
Not something he usually questions with the kind of group. He recruits guys who have fight in them. Lee gets the bounce on the first. The CFP National Championship game presented by AT&T. A week from Monday, January 19, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. It'll be Miami and Indiana. How about the Hoosiers absolutely dismantling Oregon last night? We'll have pregame coverage all day long and have you covered for the game on every platform, TV, radio, and digital.
There will be 0 in-game coaching smiles from Mario Cristobal and Curt Cignetti.
How about the way Indiana fans have traveled over the last few weeks?
They've been able to save their money for a long
that's
time
fair.
in football.
But boy, are they loving every minute of what their football team has been doing. At the line is Gillespie. He got fouled on a 3-point attempt by Klapjar.
But how about going back to that national championship game? How about Cignetti and Mark Byington coaching at James Madison at the same time? To have those two gems coaching football and basketball at the same time. It's pretty amazing.
And Indiana, the biggest story in college football, and Vandy, one of the biggest stories in college basketball. Again, the Commodores are still unbeaten. They are ranked 11th. They're in the top 10 in things like the net and Ken Palm. They are having a remarkable season thus far. Sharp backs off, now finds Lee. Still plenty of time. Chinyalu. Brown with 4 on the clock. Chinyalu the jumper. Tipped up by Condon, no good. Ament the rebound. What a finish. What a drive and a left-handed bank shot there by Nate Ament.
Nate Ament is just uber talented, and he's going to continue. He's getting better as we speak, but he's going to get better and better. An amazing talent.
He's got 16 to lead the Volunteers. Lee, kick into the corner. Klajar misses a 3. Ament the rebound. Chinyalu went flying. It's 5-on-4 right now. Boy, Ament trying every time down the floor, trying to get to the rim. Couldn't finish that one. He is not settling at all. Condon fouled by Estrella.
And give credit to Ruben Chinyalu for that rim run. He forced Estrella to really run with him, and that drags the defense and opened it up for Condon. Got hit in the chest, or with the chest, of J.P. Estrella.
So would it be Alex Condon at the line? The junior from Perth, Australia. Such a big part of their national championship team a year ago, and obviously again this season.
He was really good against Georgia. He had 21 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of blocks. I think he had 6 dunks in that game. He just owned the rim against the Bulldogs.
Averaging almost 15 points per game and better than 8.5 rebounds per game. And that's not even good for best on the team. Chinyalu's over 10 boards a game.
That's just what I was thinking. 8.5 rebounds leads most teams in the country, most teams in the top 25, and he's second on the team in rebounding.
Hanlogden and Hauk each are at almost 7. So they've got 4 different players on their team, each at 6.8 rebounds or above.
And Hanlogden leads them in rebounds per minute. He doesn't play the kind of minutes those other guys do.
Foul by Hanlogden and a chance for 3 for Brown.
But Dwayne Brown II is big, physical, gives great effort. And his early posts and the way he seals just gives a strong screen and then right down the gut, able to get to the bucket with that left hand. Rick Barnes was telling us before the game about how well Dwayne Brown was coached in high school, that he really knows how to play. And he praised his shooting. He says he's a much better shooter than people think, but he doesn't take as many of them as he should.
Bland is off to the races and has 2 more. Give him 23.
Boy, that drives Rick Barnes crazy when off a missed free throw, his guards are just not as aware as they should be for that ball being tapped out.
Troy Henderson knocks down a 3 at the other end for Tennessee, his first points. Did not play at all in the first half. Hauk, no. And a nice job coming down to get that rebound by Amari Evans.
Yeah, Hanlogden was right there to get an offensive rebound. He took it away from him. Good fake.
Evans into traffic, and he'll go to the line.
Well, I really like Amari Evans. He's from Pittsburgh, as you mentioned, 6'5". In his last 2 games coming into this one, he's playing over 22 minutes a game, and he was 8 for 11 from the field in those 2 games, showing his strength. He had 16 points against Arkansas. That's a really strong take right into the body of Thomas Hauk. I wonder if he's a Steelers fan going to be watching the game against the Texans.
I would think there's a pretty good chance.
Do you have to be if you grow up in Pittsburgh?
Pretty much. Or if you're not, you kind of keep it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 4 freshmen who get minutes for Tennessee. Obviously, Nate Ament. We've talked about Amari Evans. Dwayne Brown is a freshman as well. And Troy Henderson, who knocked down that 3 moments ago. Another foul.
He just can't go over the top of that screen by Chinyalu.
Boogie.
I thought Florida's defense was truly outstanding. They're strong on the ball. They were really good in the gaps. Their help side defense was really good. They were moving as the ball moves. They made it really difficult on Jacoby Gillespie, but all the turnovers they forced, and really that's These are the first real free throws that Florida's missed. They're not a great free throw shooting team, but before those 2 misses by Boogie Fland, they were 17 of 19.
Gillespie with an air ball, saved though by Brown. Gillespie gets it back. Henderson misses the 3, and Estrella gets called for holding Condon.
Condon had inside position, and Estrella just hooked him.
And this should be free throws. This is 1-1. Tennessee is over the limit.
And Condon will go to the line. But both Tennessee and Florida up to this point of the season have not been great free throw shooting teams. I think Florida's like 13th in the league in free throw percentage, and Tennessee's actually a little bit below that. And that's an area where both teams can improve.
As you look at teams improving over the course of the season, and we talked about how it feels it's fairly wide open in the SEC right now. Is there much to, and today there has been a lot to separate Florida and Tennessee, but you look at them, Alabama, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, obviously. Is there anything to separate, say, those top 5 teams in your mind?
I think
The Florida coach is appealing a possible flagrant 1 foul in the play.
So this is Todd Golden asking for an appeal. This is not a challenge. It's different. An appeal asking if this personal foul should be upgraded to a flagrant foul.
it looked like Rick Barnes was trying to suggest that something was up around his player's head and neck. I don't know whether it was some sort of hook and hold situation. There's been so much contact. You need 3 Green Berets to referee this game underneath.
I think the official said that it was Todd Golden, Florida coach, appealing. We're going to look at a replay, and it may become a little bit more obvious. Keep an eye on Estrella and Condon in the middle of your screen. And is that hold of the arm there by Estrella enough to be upgraded?
That's a hook and hold.
Yeah.
And the hook and hold was a huge point of emphasis a few years ago. It's been de-emphasized, not that it's not important, but you know, the task from the rules committee was get hook and hold out of the game. And you're never going to get it completely out. For the most part, it's been greatly reduced.
Because there's a risk of injury in that kind of play.
I can't remember who it was, Haas from Purdue, but a player broke his arm. And so they really wanted to reduce that. They said, let's get it out of the game type of deal.
And this one is being upgraded, we are told, to a flagrant 1 foul on J.P. Estrella.
After review, the foul has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 hook and hold. It'll be 2 shots for blue, number 3, and Florida ball out of bounds on the end line.
So it'll be 2 shots and the ball. A flagrant 1 on J.P. Estrella.
An excellent microphone work by official Joe Lindsay. So many officials, it's like a hostage video when they get in front of that microphone, but he's doing a great job.
Yeah, they're all new to this as well, doing a great job. It'll be Alex Condon shooting the 2 free throws.
Now, he did say number 3, which is Micah Handlocked in.
Right.
So I think Alex Condon is, wait a minute, I'm scoring here, man.
Yeah, Condon was the guy who got fouled. How different is it to shoot free throws like this? You're used to having guys all around you. Now it's just you.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's kind of like practice. You know, you shoot free throws without a full complement of players on the line. I think sometimes the quiet is what gets you, especially when you're at home.
Ooh. 1 for 2. And Florida ball.
I did not expect this. I thought this was going to be a nip and tuck game the whole way. Boy, how good of a job has Todd Gold's done here. He played his college basketball at St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference, coaching career at the University of San Francisco, and had some really good guards there. Wound up beating Virginia, then one of the younger coaches in the country. He's proven to be one of the best coaches.
Yeah, won a national championship last year in just his 3rd year as the head coach here in Gainesville. And it was a really good team all season long. But you and I got a chance to spend a lot of time around the Gators last year, a lot of time in the SEC. And we had the SEC tournament in Nashville. And you could see kind of week by week in February and then into early March as good as Houston and Duke and so many other teams were, the more you watch this Florida team, the more you said to yourself, man, they can win the whole thing.
And they were the best team. Once we hit February, I think it was when Florida played at Auburn last year without Elijah Martin and won. You're going, hey man, they're the real deal.
Yeah.
They're the best team in the country.
Because Auburn was great last year as well.
Yeah, I mean the top 4 teams separated last year. They were all #1 seeds, all made the Final Four. I wonder how many times when Todd Golden was at USF that people thought he was a manager rather than the head coach. He looks like he's 11.
Yeah. Chinyelu with a nice little jump hook. Todd Golden, for what it's worth, is 40, but certainly does not look 40 years old.
Yeah, nobody gets carded more often among head coaches than Todd Golden.
A bucket at the other end for Dwayne Brown II. Trading baskets not nearly good enough right now for Tennessee in a game that got away from them at the end of the first half and here early in the second half. Boogie Fland leading the way with 23. Condon, nice cut, nice find, nice finish.
Alex Condon is such a good passer. Great awareness. It's almost like he does floor mapping.
His 3rd assist of the game. Amen and Howe. What a good matchup this has been. Akpara gets it back. Tries to hammer it home and will shoot a pair.
And that's how hard you have to take it to the basket just to draw a foul in this game. Because you're going to get met at the summit by both Chinyelu and Condon. I think Rick Barnes might be asking the officials for running clock in this one. He's disappointed.
Yeah, that is not a happy coach. That is a coach who coaches his players hard, demands a lot out of them, and has had tremendous success over 39 years as a head coach. But this is not a happy Rick Barnes right now.
He's got a really good, both these programs have really good coaching staffs. With Greg Polinsky and Justin Gainey sitting over there on the sidelines.
A nice tip up and in by Brown, who continues to work hard. Under 6 to go. Lavjar. Gillespie giving chase. Chinyelu sizing up Brown. Running hook this time.
Again, showing great patience, facing up, realizing he's got one-on-one against Brown in the post, just going to that rolling right-handed hook.
He's got their last 6, and he's got another double-double, and this one rather comfortably. Chinyelu already with 13 points and 13 rebounds.
Not sure I've seen Florida grab a one-handed rebound in this game. They go after everything with 2 hands. Really impressive.
Chinyelu again, why not? Banging with Akpara. Another one!
They are feeding the big man. And Ruben Chinyelu is responding. A great offensive rebounder. A pick and roll threat, but also a low post threat. Facing up with that rolling hook.
And would land on the positive side of the ledger for Coach Barnes.
Nate Amen, we've talked about his talent, but he's shown toughness in this game. But the rebounding of Florida has been magnificent. I mean, they've dominated, they've won the rebounding battle. I'm not going to say they've dominated rebounding, but they won. And they've doubled Florida up in second chance points, but it's really been the turnovers that's been the difference.
Chinyelu with another rebound, now 15 and 14, as our friend Digger Phelps likes to say, a big double-double. Lavjar in and out on a 3.
The amount of space these Florida big guys eat up. I mean, you don't even want to go in the lane. There's so many big bodies in there.
And this has to be Florida's identity, right? Big, physical, strong on the inside, win the rebounding battle, and then can they make enough threes? Condon the slam. Can they make enough threes to the point where they can play with anybody in the country?
Yeah, last year the strength of the Florida team was in their guards. and their big guys were great complements to that. This year, the strength of the team is in the front court, and the guards have to step it up, and they have in this one. I mean, both in double figures, Savion Lee and Boogie Fland. Boogie Fland has been, this is the best he has played. He's been fantastic.
Dwayne Brown, the second into double figures for the Vols with 10. Condon left hand a little short.
Took a shot in the face, too.
Boy, Chinyulu works hard. You watch him racing from end to end, whether it's getting there on offense or defense. But this time, Jalen Carey gets the best of him.
Excellent job at Iowa State before he went back into the NBA. And he's got a big guy, Rink Mast, who is an outstanding player. He can rebound, he can shoot it from three. Excellent passer.
A turnover stolen away by Gillespie. Again, for those joining late, a game that was tied late in the first half. Florida closed the first half on a 15-2 run and has never looked back.
Boy, how about Chinyulu there, putting pressure on that shot by Jalen Carey and then getting to the other side of the lane to grab that rebound with two hands. Alex Condon was right there going, can I get one? Come on, Ruben.
Tennessee will go home for a couple of games. They'll play Texas A&M on Tuesday, and then you and I will be in Knoxville a week from today. Kentucky will be in town to take on the Vols. Nice little spin move by Condon.
Boy, the great job with the footwork and pivoting. Jalen Carey goes for that first pivot, just pivots back around to the left hand. Just beautiful footwork by Alex Condon.
Florida's next game at Oklahoma Tuesday night on ESPN2, and then a fun one next weekend. They will take on Vandy in Nashville at 2 Eastern. Chinyulu again. Monster day for Ruben Chinyulu.
Well, you got a 7-footer running the break, and then Ruben Chinyulu can just rim run and grab that rebound again with two hands.
He now has 17 points and 16 rebounds. Houck finds his buddy Condon for the lay-in.
Boy, when you've got a stop.
This is Florida at its best. This is a Florida team that may be able to play with anybody because they've got it going on the inside and they've had it going enough on the outside here this afternoon.
Well, you pointed it up earlier in the broadcast, going up against Duke in a one-point game, a late lead against UConn. I mean, this team can play with anyone, but I think as their guards get better, they're going to be able to beat anyone at any time.
And Todd Golden taking some of his guys out of the game. This was more for Rick Barnes as he made some substitutions, so a timeout just to get some new people in there. Actually, it's Rick Barnes making more changes than Todd Golden. Inbounded to Houck with 1:10 to go. Boogie Fland is still in there. Houck still in there. Condon, Klavjar, and Chinyulu. So this was really about Tennessee making some changes.
Ethan Berg, number 35, into the game as a sophomore from Israel. Didn't play against Texas, but he is a good three-point shooter that can put it on the deck.
Has made 44% of his threes on the season. Klavjar with the lay-in, and the Gators just lengthening out this lead here in the closing minutes.
And Klavjar's had one of his better games as well. The guards have really shown up for Florida.
Florida has 6 in double figures in this game.
Well, you put 91 on Tennessee. Well, this team doesn't give up that kind of points. They're giving up 65 on the game, and Todd Golden can hurt himself if he goes up against Chinyulu that way again.
Todd Golden gets more fired up than any of his players do most of the time. He made that substitution, putting Savion Lee back into the game just to get Ruben Chinyulu. He had fouled out of the game. My bad. Chinyulu had fouled out, but a good opportunity really for the fans to give Chinyulu a well-deserved ovation.
You get 16 rebounds against Tennessee. Ruben Chinyulu, 16 rebounds in this game. Boy, we talked about it being an adult swim. He was the adult in the room.
And a season high 17 points as well. An impressive victory for the Gators today that is going to get a lot of attention around SEC country.
And it should. What a message being sent.
Bland cradles, lost it. And Estrella down with it, just 10 seconds to go in this one. Henderson, Estrella. Taken away by Lee, and that'll do it. Florida runs away from the Volunteers here this afternoon. An impressive 91-67 victory here on their home court to go to 2.